What is going on, guys? It is your boy Kevin, and I'm back today with another video. If you haven't read the title, I hope you could tell at least from the interface behind me. Yeah, your boy copped himself the PlayStation 5. It was a tough console to snag, but I'm excited about having it. And while I was waiting for it to arrive, I was online looking at what the Mortal Kombat 11 experience is like on PlayStation 5, and I feel like a lot of the content that I saw from creators, not to discredit them, it might have just been the ones that I've run into. I don't, what do I know? But I didn't feel like they were necessarily competitive fighting game players. I feel like they had a PlayStation 5. Mortal Kombat 11 is probably the fighting game to play on it right now, if there's any. It's one of the few that has a PlayStation 5 version, and they were just talking about like a general review of the game and how it functions. I wanted to offer a different perspective, which is, what is this game like for those of us who compete? Is it worth your time getting as of right now? What are the pros and cons of owning this version of the game? There are a couple of things to keep in mind, which is, one, I didn't pay for it. I got the free digital upgrade because I have a copy of it on the PS4. So if you're gonna buy it standalone, there are some concerns that you might have that I'll bring up in a sec. And if you'd like to play with me, you can do so over on twitch.tv/kevinmcolon, where I'm streaming 3 to 4 times a week, 3 to 4 hours at a time. We're running Tekken events, we're running Mortal Kombat events, I'm giving out money to players. I'm also sometimes just running some sets. Even if I'm not streaming or recording, there's a chance you can grab me over in my Discord. So all of that information will be in the description down below. Pop in there, try to find me. I'm right at the top of the Discord. If I'm online, feel free to shoot me a DM or hit me up on Twitter. Wherever you can contact me if you'd like to get games in, we'll see what we could do. If you're really excited about it, I might even try turning it into content in the future if you would allow. So, with that said, PlayStation 5 version of the game. What does it have to offer? What am I excited about? What is frustrating? Okay, here's a couple of things. One, the PS5 is great. I run the PS5 version by having the PS4 disc in. I don't know if that's the only way that you can have the free digital upgrade on the PS5. When I tried to get it by other means, I couldn't. It told me, like, listen, you have to have this disc in to play the game. You have to have this disc in to verify that you have a PS4 version. I didn't know why I couldn't just download it from this. There's a chance that you could download the PS4 version, then the console will recognize it. I had to do it through the disc. So I would look into that and double check and make sure whether or not that might be a problem for you. But once I got the game downloaded, so many good things. So I'm going to cover the good first. For example, one, I would like to play Mortal Kombat 11. I don't have the game booted right now. I'm going to go ahead and give a tippity tap to my controller, and I'd like you to compare it to the speed to which it loads on your console. I am already in the game. It's that fast. That's incredible. It's going to make a lot of things funner to sit through. For example, if I want to go to practice mode, hold on, that's customization. That's not what I want. But let's back out of it. It doesn't matter. Hold on. I want to go into practice mode. I'm just going to pick my characters and a stage. Watch, again, the speed at which I can get into practice mode. Let me look away real quick. Oh, what's that? Is that a fly or something? That's crazy. I'm already in the game. That's very quick. I'm already in here, and I'm doing combos. Look at me. Big fancy boy. That's pretty fun. The speed at which you can get in here and practice is very cool. One of the other things that I like about it is because of the PS5 dashboard, what I've been doing is, I'm very much one of those people, and I would recommend you do the same if you're trying to get better at the game. I'll come in here with Jackie, and I'll practice my combos for about 5 or 10 minutes to make sure I'm warmed up. And then I'll go, oh, okay, cool, time to play ranked. On the PS4 version, I would have to then go to the pause menu, exit out of here, wait 10 seconds to get to the menu, go over to the fight menu, go online, go to ranked, and then play. On the PS5, you can dashboard, you have info cards here, and I can just go over to ranked matches and select that to show you, because I don't want to play ranked right now, obviously. Let's say I want to play AI sets. I could tell the game from anywhere in the game, hey, listen, I want to do this thing now. And it's immediately going to take me over. I canceled it because I don't want to spend the time. But you can do the same thing. You can go over to a King of the Hill, play with random people. You can go into casuals. I usually, again, sit in training mode, hop right over to ranked once I'm ready for that, and start playing Combat League. The Combat League experience is very solid. The overall gameplay experience, I would say, generally rivals playing the game on PC. The only difference I feel like with the PC, and if you guys have played it on the PC, you'll have a similar experience, I'm sure. The frame rate when you do a crushing blow or an armor break, etc., is like immense. It's actually insane how high the FPS goes when you do something that simple. When you're playing on PS5, it seems to generally hold a smooth frame rate. I'm sure the game might support 120 hertz. I don't have it here, but to show an example of what I'm talking about, I'll just perform a crushing blow with Jackie real quick. And it looks good, the details are great, but it doesn't have that same kind of finesse that it does on the PC. I'll show you an example of what that same thing would look like on PC. If it will even translate well, it might not. But outside of that, I mean, if you take a look at this, it animates very smooth. You can tell that it's on a higher end device. Hold that, you know? You can tell it's on a higher end device immediately. And you're gonna have that generally everywhere. Because the loading times are so fast, again, going into the towers and having a tower where you have to complete 7 to 8 fights on console, on PS4, you sit there, you finish a fight, you wait 5 to 10 seconds, you load into the next. And this one, you finish a fight, you blink, you're in the next fight. You blink, you're in the next fight. So if you're just trying to simply grind through towers, you could get through them so much faster playing on the PS5 than you can on the PS4. Those loading times are impeccable. All of your information carries over, so you can see, obviously, I just got my PS5 a little while ago. My coins and my time crystals are not just from PS5 play. They carry over from me playing on another console, and everything that I've purchased, you can already see here, everything I have unlocked is still unlocked in the shop, so you don't have to re-earn all of your items again. Of course, you're supposed to know that, but in case you don't, your stuff carries over, so that's cool. You do have to re-download all the characters, but if you're concerned about, hey, if I download the game, then all of the DLC that will carry over too. All of it will carry over. So I booted up the game and didn't have everybody, and I was freaking out that not everyone was here. And then I just went to the PlayStation Store and downloaded them all again, which of course is a very nice experience within itself, because PlayStation Store, you just hop over here, search up what you need, and you're good to go. So for me, I searched up MK, got my stuff there. It also comes with a copy of MKX. If you care, I think it's cool. I'll be playing it a little bit, but I know most of us are here for MK11. Yeah, ranked is fun. Again, because of those loading times, one thing that I feel like is very important that I bet you a lot of you guys aren't doing, watching your match replay. So I'll give you an example of, I'm not going to sit through the whole match here, but if I was to show you an example, first of all, it's going to boot up insanely fast, and the gameplay still looks very smooth here. Looks like I'm playing it live. If I sat here without this stuff on screen and I went, wow, this rating is insane, you would think I'm playing it right now. It looks impeccable, and the ability to get into those games faster and really be able to analyze, replay, and do all of that stuff without having to wait so long means that you can collect that information a lot faster and really take advantage of match replays, which I feel like you guys need to start doing. Start taking advantage of this stuff to get better at the game. So that's all great. There are some issues that the game has, which are going to be like, if these are your concerns, I'm going to list them now so that you understand. Outside of everything looking great and running great and all of the content being there, and if you haven't played the game before, tearing through the story and all this. Oh, one more actual good thing before I get into the bad. If you're a trophy hunter, so this is going to be specific to how much you like trophy hunting. I am a big trophy hunter. I'm trying to get back into it recently. I'm still only at like 22 platinums. I'd like to get that up to like 50 to get some respect on my name. Mortal Kombat 11 trophies actually repop if you've already earned them on the PS4 for most of them. So for example, something like the tutorial on console, I did all the tutorials already. When you turn this game on, it won't ping immediately, but I did a section of a tutorial mission. I'm talking to the extent of going into tutorials and walking forward and jumping with Scorpion on that exact first thing you can do. By the time I finished that, I got all of the trophies for doing tutorials. You're gonna have similar instances with the crypt, where with the crypt I was like, oh god, do I have to collect all these heads again? Because that was such a nightmare for me. I wasn't around for the head glitch. I had to manually do all of that. I didn't want to do it over. Didn't have to. Unlock the entirety of the crypt. I opened one crypt chest. It gave me 200. I speared one hanging body. It gave me the trophy for all of them. It gave me practically most of the crypt trophies once I just entered the crypt. So you will be able to re-earn most of the trophies by just kind of doing something and get a really easy platinum. I could say from my experience, ones that I can attest to not working in similar fashion, casual matches, you'll have to play 50. I played a casual match. I played up to 3 of them and didn't ping the trophy, so there are some that you'll have to repeat. You'll have to do all the fatalities with the characters again, etc. But most of them will just be there for you to just reclaim and go over. So again, if you care about trophy hunting, I'm gonna have 2 different versions of Mortal Kombat 11 Platinum, and it's gonna be great, and I can't wait for it. Here's some of the cons that I'd like to get into. Because I am running, and this is going to be specific to if you're doing the same and using the physical version, I have the disc edition of the PS5. When you put the disc in, this fan revs up, and I'm talking it rivals 2 PS4's fans revving up when it starts booting the game. However, once it's done doing that, it goes completely silent. So your house is going to feel like an airplane hangar for like 6 to 7 seconds. And then it's going to stop making noise completely once it boots into the game. So, you know, you would want to take that into account. For example, when I downloaded Tekken on this, because Tekken doesn't have a PS5 version, so of course the PS4 is backwards compatible. I got Tekken on it, and Tekken has a very long installation process, as I'm sure those of you who play Tekken on the PS4 are aware of. That thing whirred up like a jet engine for the entire 20 to 30 minutes that it was installing Tekken. So you want to keep in mind, while the system is going to stay relatively quiet, it will at some point still make a shitload of noise. You really can't avoid it. Some of the cons outside of that, if you are very competitive, you want to compete in some tournaments and whatnot, most tournaments right now are not going to have the PS5 version available for you. Obviously, not all of us have access to it, so you're still going to have to play on the PS4. That's going to turn into a problem if you want to have both versions of the game, because the PS5 has very limited storage. I'm talking, if we go over here and I give you an example of mine, I have 4 games installed on here. I have an Outriders demo, Destiny 2, MK11, and Tekken 7. I've already used up half of my storage. There are solutions to this, but they're specific. I'm going to be using one later today. I'm actually prepping to get it done once I finish filming today. I have a 2 terabyte Seagate SSD or hard drive, etc. that I got off of Amazon. You can get these on sale for some pretty good prices, actually. I got this one for $40 when it went on sale, and this can hold a lot of storage. The problem is the PlayStation 5 won't save PlayStation 5 versions of games on external storage devices. So if I want to put the PS5 version of MK11 on here, I can't. I can put the PS4 version, however, and have access to that. That's actually my plan, is to later today or later this week download Tekken 7, Grand Blue, MK11, all of my fighting games and my go-to PS4 titles onto this hard drive, plug it into the USB in the back, because the PS5 does have the second USB port in the back, so I generally won't see it, and just leave it back there, so when it's time to play the PS4 versions of the game, I can boot it up from here and not have a problem. I'll still need to put the disc in, etc., but I won't be taking up storage space on the actual device because it is already so limited, and that can tend to be a nuisance and a problem. One of the other hardware issues that I'll show you, you can use a PS4 controller to control the PS5, but you cannot play PS5 games with a PS4 controller. Only PS4 versions of games on the PS5 will work with this, even though it will recognize it and function completely fine. So for example, I'm gonna go ahead and close, pardon me, I'm gonna close MK real quick so that you can see what this will do. So let's go ahead and close the game. I'm going to take my PS5 controller to it, which I did earlier. You see it'll recognize it. So we're here. I'm gonna try to boot up MK11. PS5 games can't be played using the DualShock 4, even though it can definitely recognize my controller. I can control the, like you see, I'm going to try to get into the game. It's just not going to let me use it. If I go to my hub, it still pops up. I can control this entire thing from here. No problem. So it'll function like a PS5 controller. They just choose to not let these work, which is a problem, because that means if you're going to have friends over locally, like I have a lot of friends. Obviously, I'm a big fighting game player. I've introduced myself into the fighting game community. I have a lot of in real life friends who are extremely excited to come over and play the PS5 version of MK. We love this game so much. I only have one PS5 controller, so unless we feel like playing the PS4 version on the PS5, I can't hand them this and say, yeah, I can't even go here, you take the PS5 controller, which who would want to do that? But you take the PS5 controller, I'll take the PS4, let's play. Not if we're going to play on the PS5 version. So we'd be playing the PS4 anyway. It would be no, like, really extra benefit to that. But again, just to show my case, if I boot up a PS4 version of the game, so I'm going to go ahead and take MK out. and put my Tekken copy in. Mind me making a bunch of noise. I also apologize if this video feels like very low produced because I'm focused on getting the information out instead of making it look super pretty, you know. I want to give you guys the real experience of what this is like. So let's get Tekken in there. Let's go back to the home screen. Now let's boot it. It's gonna load up. I don't know if you hear the fan. Picking up like crazy. That'll calm down in a bit. But since Tekken 7, I'm running the PS4 version of the game. Once this boots up, however long it feels like taking, because Tekken, man, if Tekken doesn't render for 8 hours, you know, I'll go ahead and skip through everything. Now I'm controlling it through a PS4 controller. So again, if you're going to play the MK11 PS4 version, you'll be able to use these just fine. You'll still be able to manage your dashboard, so you're not going to have like the similar issue with like fight sticks and whatnot. But if you use the PS5 version, again, this won't work. That does mean that if you're an arcade stick player and your arcade stick doesn't support PS5, you might not be able to use it. So you would have to, I would recommend you Google whether or not you'll have access to that, or you'll be forced to become a pad player until you can find an arcade stick that'll make that adjustment for you. There's also the issue, so let me close this out now because obviously we're not here for a Tekken video. There's also the issue, if you want to play in like the pro competition, even if you're running the PS4 version of MK, the pro competition runs through the PS4 dashboard. So if you're trying to compete in that, you'll still have to go lug your PS4 out, plug that back in, because you have to use the PS4's interface to compete in pro comp. I'm not going to be competing in it specifically, but if you do that and you're interested in it, you won't have access to those tournaments through the PS5 interface. The player base on here is still decently strong. I actually ran into Patient Impulse in Combat League. It popped up when I was showing my match replays. He's a very strong Raiden player. He also streams, so look him up on Twitter because he has great content. That guy is freaking awesome. And a Raiden main, which you know, it's hard to be a Raiden main in this game. But I ran into him. I ran into 2 other people. I won all of my sets, but I had to sweat and grind really hard for all of those sets. I tend to feel like on the PC, which usually if you check my ranked match videos on PC, I'm showing you an Xbox controller, but I use this for my PC. That player base is a lot smaller. They're not as knowledgeable of the game. They usually get MK on a very big sale and play it just because they have it. They don't really know the mechanics and systems of the game, so wins feel a lot easier on the PC version of the game than they do on the PS4, which tends to be incredibly sweaty every game that you play. But the PS5 is going to have that decent mix of either people are playing it because it's the only game on PS5, if you really want to play fighting games right now, that is made with a PS5 version. There's a very limited amount of them, and K11 is really going to be the golden standard for that right now. Or they have it because, like us, they can't stop playing this game and they play it all the time. Last night, I played 3 ranked matches, and every single one of them were sweats. These dudes were making me grit my teeth to get that win. So you can expect decent competition still if you're playing on this version, but you're not going to have access to things like King of the Hills with players who are on PS4. If you're on PS4 and I'm on PS5 and you want to play a 1v1, we can do that, no problem. But if you want to start including more friends from PS4 on that, I'd have to go back and download the PS4 versions to the game. So pros and cons on both sides. I can say personally, I can still definitely recommend playing this on... Oh, one other thing you want to keep in mind before I forget. Really make sure when you go into ranked that you toggle this mute button on. It's going to take you a bit to remember that this controller has a microphone now. I was talking to a friend on Discord while playing casuals on the PS5 to see how it ran. And I'll be honest, I was being a little piece of shit and being confident and going, oh, this guy can't take my Jackie man or whatever. But I'm doing it thinking the guy can't hear me. I realized 2 minutes in, I'm an asshole. That dude could hear me talking shit about him the whole time that I had it on. Luckily, I didn't do anything crazy or talk about his mom. Otherwise, he might be knocking on my door in a minute if he found my address. But make sure to toggle this thing off because the PlayStation by default leaves the mic on. Who does that? Why would you do that to me? So if you go into ranked, you might get... I haven't experienced everybody else having their mic on, but shut yours off before you get exposed. With that said, you're going to be seeing a lot more MK content from me. My girlfriend had to go back to work physically, which means in the mornings I have the house to myself. So I'd expect more MK content from me even today. Don't be surprised if in the next videos I have this shirt on. When I'm doing guides and whatnot, I'll probably be doing them from the PS5. When I'm playing ranked, I'll probably still be doing it from PC because I'm trying to get my KL skins. And I'm having a fun time on PC, to be honest. Those are vibe videos for me. But I'm going to hope that the overall quality looks better because of the updated console and whatnot. And if you have any questions that I didn't address in this video, make sure to leave them down in the description for me. I try to get back to everybody as much as I can. I'm now starting to realize that creative point of missing comments sometimes, and I feel horrible when I do. But for the most part, I try to get to everybody that I can. Hit me up on Twitter, join my Discord. I play games with people even if I'm not streaming, even if I'm not recording. So if you can snag me at the right time, I am generally busy a lot, but if you can snag me at the right time, there are people in the Discord who will attest to the fact that I will play games with you because I'm always trying to improve, and you guys are really good at this game. So with that said, again, I would recommend getting a copy of it, especially if you have it for free. Just download it. If you have to pay for it right now, you don't necessarily need the game. Wait a bit until, I'd say like a year from now, depending on how the support is for the game. If we're still up and running, or 5 or 6 months where PS5s aren't nightmares to get a hold of, then you can go ahead and pay for this if you don't have the PS4 version. But as it stands right now, it's great on PS5. You won't die if you don't have it, but you will have fun with it if you do. That's going to be it for today. I'm going to catch you guys next time. I've got a lot of videos coming out. Jackie tutorial, advanced frame data part 2 on flawless block gaps and interrupting strings and how to recognize that. A lot of fun stuff. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.